Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. I'm in San Francisco right now, and I'm standing right across the street from a building that is actually owned by Francis Ford Coppola. In fact, if you look at that building right above where the red awning is there, that's where they did all the sound editing and the film editing for The Godfather. I mean, if you're somebody like me, that's like going to the Vatican. And the really cool thing is down below they have a thing called the Zoetrope Cafe. And I've written about the Zoetrope Cafe many times on Morning Newsbeat because they have a dish that I particularly love. It's called chilaquiles. And when I'm done here, I'm going across the street. I'm having chilaquiles. I'm going to have a couple of glasses of Coppola wine. I'm thinking probably a Sauvignon Blanc goes pretty well with it. And that's what I'm going to do. And the thing is, when I go to San Francisco, whenever I come here, one of the things I try to do is I try to go there because it was the first place I'd ever had chilaquiles. And for me, it's like a neighborhood spot, even though this is by no means my neighborhood. And the thing is, there's a lot of cities that I go to that I basically try and find places that I relate to, that I feel comfortable in. I'll go to places I've never been to before, but when I go to places like Seattle, or Orlando even, or Portland, or wherever it happens to be, Los Angeles, San Francisco, I try to find places that I feel comfortable in. And comfort's a really important thing when you're traveling, especially when you travel as much as I do. But I also think it's important to get outside one's comfort zone. And I'm thinking about that, specifically because why I'm here in Northern California. I'm going to this Retail Tomorrow conference. It's sort of this immersion conference that's being created by GMDC. And I'm really looking forward to it, because one of the things we're going to do here is we're going to visit all these technology companies that are absolutely cutting edge and talk about how their technologies are going to affect retailing down the road. And hopefully I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to be sharing it over the next 2 days with you here on Morning Newsbeat. But listen, companies have to get outside their comfort zone. I think that's what happened earlier this week when we saw the announcement from the National Grocers Association and the National Association of Convenience Stores that they're going to start to create something together because they're recognizing that the world has changed and they have to think outside of traditional boundaries. Heck, when you think about it, that's what Walmart is doing, is it spends a ton of money and resources trying to figure out how to deal with e-commerce. And it's what you see Amazon doing, is it spends a lot of time and money and resources focusing on how it needs to get involved with brick and mortar. We all have to get outside our comfort zones. We have to try and do things that are differently because customers are not the same. The competitive landscape is not the same. And if we don't get beyond our comfort zone, we're going to find ourselves sitting in a place where it's going to feel good, but it's not necessarily going to do the right thing for our consumers and our customers. And that's something we have to really focus on. So anyway, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. It's not Thursday morning as I'm recording this, so I'm going across the street for some chilaquiles and some wine. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.